welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. We have some more 20 strong content. This is the newest range of individual games for 20 strong. These are obviously based on fairy tales. We've got Little Red Riding Hood, Goldilocks, Snow White, and then the Baba Yaga, which it says it requires 20 strong base game and red, gold, and white to play. I thought it was just one you could mix in. We'll definitely have to, I'll have to refresh myself of how this one integrates. But obviously 20 strong, you need the dice. You could have picked up a new like core box with this, which included new dice. I didn't do that because I already had the base game, but I do like the look of the new dice. May pick that up at some point down the road. But obviously these are all going to play uniquely different, so we're going to take a look at each one. And we've got some promos here. These promos here are specifically kind of for this set, this like fantasy series set. And then there's a set of promos that work with kind of essentially Chip Theory's line. So you'll notice this one on the back here is actually a Cloudspire card. They haven't released Cloudspire yet, but you could have pre-ordered it with the last Cloudspire kind of expansion and closing out the storage box and all that stuff. And then the last thing you got here with this set is this really nice, like, I mean, this thing is hefty. It's, you guys obviously can't see that. It's like a really sharp point right there. I have to file that down. But this thing is very heavy, very weighted. It's double-sided here because very magnetic. Some of these new sets use this side of the dial, but very shiny. This was like a backer gift or whatever. So there is that purely metallic alloy, something like that. So we'll take a look at these at some point. But yeah, let's unwrap these and take a look at these in an individual basis. All right, so here we have Tanglewoods Red, based off of Little Red Riding Hood. I just wanted to point out that the rule books are now in these small little booklets, as opposed to the kind of sheet that got folded up into several layers. I guess I like this one more. I don't know, it really wasn't a big deal either way, but in case if you had any strong opinions on it, this is how the rule book is displayed now. So, and all of these cards, hopefully it kind of shows up, but they are all very reflective. I don't know if this is like Kickstarter editions or if they're all going to be like this, but very shiny, especially on the the standard PVC Chip Theory game cards. So these are our hero options here. They do have a flip side, so that's important because now they're going to start having, like here you can see Thumbelina has this star next to her name, which means she can be played in any game of 20 strong. I can't remember exactly how that works, but looking for this star means that you can play any one of these guys in any other box set. So we have Little Red, Thumbelina, the Marquis de Carabas, Marquis de Cat, aka Puss in Boots. We didn't see Thumbelina's side. Let's see what Thumbelina's. Oh, it's Maya here, so she's all beefed up. The Piping Piper becomes the Pied Piper. And then we have Bo Peep, and she actually flips over to her flock on the backside. So there are your heroes and heroines. The bad guy, mainly for this one, now you have the Brothers Grimm. This, I believe, is... I guess it was a stretch goal. I don't think it was a Kickstarter exclusive. I don't think anything is a Kickstarter exclusive per se. The promos will be made available, but this was a stretch goal, I believe, putting it back on the back of your reference card here. So we'll talk about what some of these symbols mean here in a second, but there's the Brothers Grimm. They're obviously another hero option. So your main antagonist in Tanglewoods Red is the Big Bad Wolf. He also has the wolf pack here. So here's Big Bad Wolf and then Bigger Badder Wolf on that side. But then throughout your journey through the woods, you can take on members of the wolf pack. And you take them on these illustrated sides, because whichever ones you don't take out as you trek through the forest, they're going to be flipped over and they're going to be added to the Big Bad Wolf as, you know, beefs up the Big Bad Wolf. He becomes bigger and badder. So that's how he works. Then there's a whole bunch of these forest cards. These are the forests that you're traversing. So there'll be Grandma's house here that you're trying to get to. You start here at your house, and then there's all of these connections along the way. So there are day and night side of each of these. Obviously, the night side is going to be nastier than the day side, but one of the phases is exploration phase, where you're adding these out to the board, possibly having to flip them over to the night side, and then you're traveling along them. And you can see here where there's various steps, and let me get my reference card here just so I can remember. These little guys mean minions. And then we have the campfire allows you to rest and upgrade your character. Whereas the books are fables, which are on the back side of the minions. And I'm looking for one more symbol here that I'm not seeing. Oh, this guy here. This is when you would encounter one of the wolf pack. So, and then how they are surrounded does make a difference. So, we have just recently been playing Nature on the channel, and they use the similar mechanic. How the picture is surrounded, what kind of border it has, changes up what happens. So a square means that you have one fewer die. Blighted enemies have +2 health and +1 attack. Cannot be bribed, mobbed, toll, things like that. So they all mean various things. So there's your forest cards, and I really like I don't know how well the color on these is showing up, but the look of these is really nice. Very nicely done. All right. Then here we have your merchant, so you can visit your merchant pretty much. I mean, just the artwork on here, these are amazing looking cards. Anyways, you can visit your merchant and spend gold. So your tracker in Tanglewoods Red is going to be gold. So that's what you're going to be using this massive magnetized thing for, is tracking your gold. And there's lots of ways. Obviously, we talked about being able to bribe lots of the minions, or you can come down here and purchase banished dice back, purchase items, which is what all of these are. So there's all of these items that you can buy, and then all of them have an upgraded side as well. So here, smelting pot becomes swirling smelting pot, and you know, walking stick was just stick. Here you can purchase one, you can buy, gain an item, or you can flip an item in your inventory to its upgraded side for 4 gold. So there you go. There's the merchant. And then last but not least, here we have a whole bunch of minions here. Just kind of flip through some of these quickly. These are who you're going to be running into in the forest for the most part. But if it ever calls for a fable, you'll actually just draw the bottom card of the deck, and here we have all of the fables. So these aren't necessarily battles that you have to take on, but are like little mini events that you have to deal with, and a lot of them are centered around, you know, the classic Aesop's fables. So there you go. That is Tanglewoods Red. All right, here we have Tanglewoods Gold. So this is Goldilocks and the 3 bears. Obviously, the 3 bears are going to be your antagonists. You have to take out all 3. Your heroine options are Goldie, obviously, with Locks being her, which I love the play on words, because this is like Locksley, Robin of Locksley with the bow and arrow. So Goldie and then Locks. We also have Hansel and Gretel on the back. Pinocchio Wooden. Can you guess who's on the backside? Pinocchio Real Boy. And then we have the Fool. And on the back side is the Flying Ship. I guess that's, I don't know what that's from. I don't think it's from Peter Pan, but anyways. And then we have the Prince and the Beast. So from Beauty and the Beast. So there are your hero options. So we have the Brothers Grimm also here. This appears to be the same card, but then it just shows this on the back. So again, I don't quite remember. I think the Brothers Grimm was a stretch goal. I don't quite remember how they work. All right, so here we have a different type of forest cards or map cards, I believe they're called. Some of which have a merchant icon, which we'll take a look at here in a second. And these also have daytime and nighttime sides. Nighttime being worse. But as you, based on your strategy stat, you're going to draw a certain number of these, choose one to place out in front of you, and then you're going to have to create a tableau of cards. You continue adding cards to your tableau of who the enemies you're going to fight, the minions and the fables, until you have all of these matching symbols. So obviously the ones with less directional symbols here means less cards in your tableau, less people you'll have to take on. And having a higher strategy stat and being able to choose which one you want obviously is going to be helpful. Here we have the merchant again, pretty similar to last time. And again, we have lots of different items that you can gain, each with their own upgraded side. And then last but not least, we have our minion and fable deck. So here are some of the minion sides. Now see, some of these are, actually is this the, okay, no. Some of these are just fables, and then some are minions. Here we go, here we have some of the minions. But each of them has a daytime and then a nighttime side, the nighttime side being worse. So anytime you anytime you don't choose a minion, or a fable, so for like the Wrath of the Leprechaun, it just goes into the discard pile, staying on this side up. But if you were to take on the Wrath of the Leprechaun and defeat it, it's going to be flipped over. So let's just find like a minion, for example, that would make it easy. Here we have Angry Roots. If we needed a west, and we place this guy in our tableau, we defeat him, he's going to possibly come back as this Angry Roots version. Or the Bespoke is going to come back as that Bespoke. So you're going to have to take some of these out, Big Bad Wolf, Spider, and but they're going to come back nastier the second time you see them. Obviously, you're going to be going through a lot of these cards because, again, you're drawing cards up to your kind of strategy level. So the more cards you can draw, the more you can see, placing the ones you want into your tableau, but you'll go through this deck faster. So you are going to see those night cards back again. But that's just a quick look at Tanglewoods Gold. All right, here we have Tanglewoods White. Tanglewoods White has these castle cards where the castle keep, which always contains the evil stepmother, and that's who you have to defeat. But before you can get to her, you're going to randomly draw 3 of these other castle cards. They have various nasty kind of mini bosses on them. So you'll line them up kind of at the top. There's also a card to signify whether it's day or night, just a simple card to flip over. That'll make some sense here in a second. So here we have the main heroines and heroes. We have Snow White, who is a universal hero. She becomes the fairest of them all. We have Peckish, Reckless. These are basically dwarves. Bubbly and Nui. I don't really get that. Toil and Trouble. I like that. And Sean. So there was 7 of them there, by the way. And then we have the Huntsman or Prince Charming. So they're saying the Huntsman becomes Prince Charming. Interesting. So those are who you can play as a hero. We have, again, the Merchant. No picture on this side, but she is on the back there. And again, just as before, all of these have, you know, upgraded side on the back. Yaga's Goods and Sundry. So I guess Baba Yaga is the merchant. All right. And then we also have our token Brothers Grimm card here with the references on the back. So, apologies. All of the minion cards and whatnot have these symbols on the back, and so they're all going to do things throughout that we'll see here in a second. So there are some just Fable cards that aren't an enemy, and they're going to look just the same on the back. They have the same kind of sets of symbols. And then these are all minion cards here. Just a lot of like similar things to what we've seen before. But again, they have these symbols on the back. So you're going to create a 4x3 grid with these cards sitting face down. And you kind of have to travel from one corner of the grid to the other. And every time you land on a card, then you will flip it over. So here you can see it was the apple on the back. It's got that same apple on the front, and then a lot of these stuff down here will change. So like this symbol here means that you need to activate one of the symbols adjacent to you. That could be more than +1. So depending on what is adjacent to you, you would look here and do that. This guy means you're going to either add a card from the top of the deck or flip over somebody else to hunt with you. And then you can see here is the kind of night modifier, that if it is on the night phase, it is going to do nastier stuff to you. So this is the one that I'm not as familiar with, this set. So there you go. That is Tanglewoods White, aka Snow White. So now I remember what the Baba Yaga box was for. This is a campaign expansion, which is going to have you play through all 3 Tanglewoods decks back to back to back. And then you take on Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga has been masquerading around as your merchant, but is in fact this kind of crazy witch lady here with a chicken house. So I'm not going to flip these over. She is kind of your final boss at the end of this little mini campaign. What this is going to add is some additional minions. So you can see here that some of these get mixed in with the other decks. So you can see here which decks they go with. And if you want to pull them out, they say BY here at the bottom. But then, you know, apples, and then there's these extra bandit cards should be up here. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how those guys got mixed up, but yeah. So there you go. These kind of get mixed in. I guess probably work with the campaign thoughts a little bit, but you also have relics here that you can earn after defeating each of the individual boxes. And these, you can have as many of them as you want. And they also have upgraded sides here, hibernation for dummies. That's funny. What's interesting though is to get them flipped over, you actually have to reduce a stat by this amount. And if you have like a -2, you could reduce 2 stats by 1. So like this one is -3, but or hot coal. Supposedly these are going to give you really good benefits. So it depends on whether you want to flip them over or not. So these are kind of ongoing prizes. And then they have all of these additional. So I think this is kind of where the bulk of the stretch goals went. Additional heroes to play as. Again, anybody with a star can be played in any other mode, and they have a list in the rule book of other heroes you could pull in if you wanted to. So we have the Frog Prince, Frog Side, and then the Frog Prince transformed, the Moon Keeper, and then the Mayor of Moontown, Dr. Know-It-All with Crab, Well-Coiffed Rapunzel with Rapunzel Unbraided, which is just kind of funny. She's so pissed looking. The Golden Harp and the Golden Goose, Jack, my Hedgehog Feral, and then Jack My Hedgehog Calm. Then we have all of these Raven Undefeateds, or Raven Undefeated and Raven Defeated. So there's several of these, and they all go along with the Sister of Ravens. So she kind of controls them. She just has this setup card. She doesn't have a flip side. But yeah, so that's her. But this is my favorite here. Let me kind of move these out of the way. We have a giant. But as you'll notice, this just says giant head. Giant's head. I'm going to lay them out this way so you can kind of see them. Then we have the giant's body, and we have the giant's legs here, which is just hilarious. So if you play with the giant, you actually play with all three of these at the same time. You see each one covers a various stat, but then each card can be wounded on its own. So I just think that that is hilarious. We'll probably have to play with him at some point or another, because and also to figure out who this Raven Simone Sisterhood card is. But I thought this one was really funny, the giant's body. And it looks like you can play the giant in any version of 20 strong, so it'd be really funny to see like the giant in the Sentinels one. All right, so that is the Baba Yaga campaign expansion. Last thing real quick here is our promo packs. So let's open these up and send you on your way. So these guys are going to be just heroes, kind of themed around the 20 strong. And I believe, don't hold me to it, that they are going to come out with more of these Fable themed ones. So we have the Wicked Witch Empowered, and then the Wicked Witch Desiccated. Wow. Godfather Death, and Old Rink Rank. Wonder if I've had these backwards the whole time. Maybe not, I don't know. And then Mischievous Fairy and the Malevolent Fairy. So these are, promo packs for the Tanglewoods. And then we have these for if you own the previous stuff or have backed the upcoming Cloudspire. So let's see what's in here. We have Riffle, who was like the secret gear lock for all those years with his own card deck. It looks like you're utilizing some of the dice as cards there. We have a Catanat. Now this is interesting because this is Nemesis. And I did not know they were going to make a Nemesis one. So they already have Too Many Bones. All right, we already knew about that. I did not know that they were going to do a Nemesis one. This is cool. That's going to be a really fun one. Pandora, I had heard that they were going to do, not Pandora, but no, they already have. They already have Hoplomachus. So Pandora is going to go with Hoplomachus. Pandora is just the newest expansion for Hoplomachus that has come out since the original 20 Strong has come out. So we have that. And then we have Flintlock here, who is, of course, for Cloudspire. This one's already been announced. Interesting, double-sided. This one's already been announced, and whenever they come out and finally release the final round of Cloudspire content, that will be included in that. And I have heard a rumor, don't hold me to it, but that they are working on an Elder Scrolls one. But this one would be really cool. The Nemesis one. So the Catanat for the Nemesis. Obviously, they have to, right? I mean, it's this whole separate look and feel. I could be wrong, but that's cool. So, all right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all of the new Tanglewoods expansion for 20 Strong. There was a lot more other stuff in the campaign. You could get bricks and storage solutions. You could, again, get a brand new base box with slightly different looking dice. I just went for the content for now. So, apologies if you were hoping to see that. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. If there's any of these you'd like to see on the channel specifically. I know that Meet Me at the Table was doing, I saw that they were doing Baba Yaga. I didn't realize that that was a campaign that they were getting into, but you can go watch Colin play through that, and I'm sure there's probably some others on the channel. So we got a lot of content we need to get through here at the Meeple Marathon, lots of stuff sitting in the wings. So, but if you are interested in seeing a 20 strong playthrough, please let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Have a great day.